Hello, everyone, and welcome. Oh no, guys, look over there! It's a twister!
Here it comes.
Wait, no, it looks like the impeding destruction of a famous director's career.
And is it roaring?
Why could it be Roy? Could it be that said director actually was scarred to death by an accident with a lion?
Nah,
Not.
that sounds very specific and just too improbable to occur. But not impossible.
So yes, this is Twister from 1996. So this was the second film that Jan de Bont directed after the surprising success of Speed. In this case, he got Michael Crichton, of all people, and Anne-Marie Martin to write the script. Michael Crichton was also a producer.
You know, poor Michael Crichton. Dude got so much acclaim from Jurassic Park, but almost none of his other work seemed to really light on fire as well as that one did.
Jurassic Park is not even technically a faithful adaptation. Really makes you think.
So the film stars Helen Hunt and the late Bill Paxton.
Also the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, some important people in this cast are dead, unfortunately.
So I'll be the first to admit, this was not exactly a movie I was in a hurry to do a Generations on, because this is a disaster movie, and it was definitely during that period where disaster films were basically one of the easiest ways to guarantee a box office success. Just slap a natural disaster onto a title and boom, people were in the theaters. I forget what was the thing that finally killed the trend of disaster films.
I think the year 2000 with Michael Bay.
But no, my gripes with this film are more or less that I only really recall two worthy things of note from this movie. The roaring tornado, and the fact that apparently tornadoes are treated as a legit villain in this story. I'm not even kidding.
We'll get more into some of this film's actually troubled development as we progress.
Oh boy.
Wow, a director has a surprising success, and then in his next movie, some things happen that cause the crew to walk out. Alright, so start before the custom Universal / Warner Brothers logo, whatever region you're in. It doesn't really matter much.
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Have you ever
seen Universal and Warner Brothers just had a partnership for a while, huh?
Apparently. Have you ever seen this movie, Dej?
Nope.
Never even heard about it?
Is this the one with the cow getting caught in a tornado?
Well, yeah, that's a classic.
That happens in a lot of movies, but yes, that does happen in this. But man, yeah, what was it that got Universal Pictures and Warner Brothers to be collabing a lot during this time? And also Amblin Entertainment, too.
Yes, Spielberg was an executive producer on the movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not terrible, but they really...
Ooh. I'm not even kidding. In my country, you got a tagline on the poster. It says, "The dark side of nature."
I don't get it what it is about this movie, but to be fair, on a budget of $88 million, it made $499 million.
Yeah, almost
nearly half a billion.
I'm sure Twisters are just secretly light and peppy. They get a bad reputation.
I'll do you even one better, Jova, because I checked before doing the commentary. This was released almost close to the first Mission Impossible movie, and despite that, both movies did a lot at the box office, and this movie did better domestically than Mission Impossible.
Now, mind you, part of it might help that during the 90s, America was going through an economic boom, which definitely made people a lot more into see movies, but disaster films were definitely where a lot of people were making bank. I will say this, though. I'm kind of surprised that Twister was apparently so big that was the one we decided to give a legacy sequel to years later.
Yeah,
after a good chunk of the cast were dead.
Also, since I didn't mention it, this was the second highest grossing movie of the year, right behind Independence Day, apparently.
All right, so just to get it out the way right away, those production troubles. Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton did not get along.
In case you're wondering, if you have never seen the movie, like in case of that, they're supposed to be love interest, basically.
Although, aren't they divorced in this movie?
We'll get there.
To the point that when they made the filming for the Twister attraction, they had their scenes shot separately and in different locations.
Damn, so what exactly caused them to not get along?
That I'm not terribly sure about.
Like, I feel like there's gotta be a reason if they're to the point of having to shoot scenes separately when possible.
Well, again, it wasn't for the movie, it was for the ride. There was also problems with Jan de Bont that the crew had. They called him out of control. The first director of photography, Don Burgess, blasted de Bont for not knowing what he wanted until he saw it, which meant that scenes were shooting from one direction, then insisted on shooting from the other one. It straight away, losing patience with how long the crew members took to carry out his instructions in the first place. He knocked a cameraman over for missing his cue, which led to Burgess and the crew walking out.
Oh, Jesus.
Jack and Green was brought in along with his crew to replace him, but things didn't go smoothly for them either. There was a hydraulic house set that was supposed to collapse on cue, got set off too early with Green still inside, and got hit on the back of the head by a falling ceiling and had to be rushed to hospital, which meant that de Bont had to take over as the cinematography director for the last 2 days of filming. And that first walkout didn't endear him to Spielberg either. Spielberg summoned de Bont to his private jet, but rather than invite him inside, flat out yelled at him while standing at the bottom of the steps.
Wow.
Damn. Way to put him in his place.
Considering stuff that had happened with John Landis before, and Spielberg at this point in time had absolutely no patience with directors who injured people on set, so I can understand him.
You know, again, that's what I love about Spielberg. Dude was on top of it all, but he never let ego, make him forget that, hey,
that's CGI.
Actors are people.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, Jan de Bont is really a sad case of an up-and-coming director who lost it. Now, mind you, Twister did not necessarily hurt his career. Like, that movie made so much money. Of course he was still going to get work after it. But it certainly seems to have sent him in kind of a path for an idea where he thought he could do no wrong. Enter in, of course, Speed 2 Cruise Control. I like that movie, but that one was a bomb. And then after that, he made The Haunting.
A remake, an unnecessary remake of a movie which was, full of unnecessary CGI, unnecessary humor, and questionable queer representation.
Jesus Christ.
And then there was Tomb Raider Cradle of Life. A movie so boring I'd rather watch anything made by Uwe Boll.
Just to mention what happened in the beginning scene, there was so much wrong. Like, the family having not their, wind shelter, tornado shelter, door fixed, or actually properly in good condition. Like, they were not expecting a tornado for years, I guess. So the father had to hold it and then got catapulted outside like an idiot. And by the way, Dad, in case you're wondering, that is crucial in forming one of our main characters' personality around, in case you're wondering. So the movie wants to take that event completely and utterly seriously. Is instead Bill Paxton playing the role of Bill Harding. So, Jan, you got a character called Bill, and you had the guy called Bill play him. Very original. But he's carrying his supposedly, fiance that he's supposed to marry to some of his old crew that he used to work science with.
Okay, if I recall correctly, I think disaster movies around this time were definitely Bill Paxton's bread and butter. Because he also was in Titanic as well. And,
if I recall correctly, we spotted him in Commando. It was having a small role towards the end.
That was cute.
He was also in Aliens, of course. Let me see
He was in Spy Kids. And specifically 2 and 3D.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was in the Thunderbirds 2004 movie that you guys commented on.
Is that movie any good?
According to
the I really do not remember. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's better than the original 2 movies because, okay, we've so far have seen Thunderbirds Are Go the movie. It's bad. Like, it's the kind of bad movie where if you're just casual and you're not familiar with the series, you'll be confused, and it's not even good if you are a fan.
Okay, if you only watch Philip Seymour Hoffman for his role in dramatic roles in movies, like even stuff like Patch Adams, or Synecdoche in New York, you're gonna get absolute whiplash for this because here he needs to play the stoner friend.
Like, okay, even in Mission Impossible 3, he plays more of a straight role. Like, I feel like Philip Seymour Hoffman, and not to typecast him, but his comfort zone seems to mostly be with either the straightforward guy or the deadpan snarker. Never really the comedic relief. And look, as somebody who myself is realizing how annoying typecasting can be, I can get him wanting to play outside it. Doesn't mean it's always going to work, though. I really do get the feeling with most of the actors here, though, that they were just vibing, at least going off of their performances in the movie.
Anyway, Melissa, the girl who built...
Is that Rob Schneider?
I don't think so.
No.
Thank God, no.
Just because he has curly hair and a big forehead.
Anyway, Melissa, the woman that Bill is supposed to marry, is played by Jamie Gertz. I guess that's her name. She has done movies since the 80s. I don't recognize almost anything else that she was in. And her most recent stuff was in 2022.
Ah, she was in The Lost Boys. Good for her.
Good for her. Well, instead, as we mentioned, the little girl at the beginning, now adult called Jo, is played by Ellen Hunt. She was in Castaway a few years after this.
Neato.
Yeah, she has done movies again since the 70s, still to this day. The most recent stuff is a movie called In Cold Light in 2025. She's supposed to star in one called Tower Stories. Oh, she's still doing theaters also to this day. Good for her. So here's the gimmick, Dad, because Ian de Bont doesn't trust his audience to understand, so he's basically slapping you in the face for that. These two divorced, and Bill is here to file, to properly, sign up the divorce papers and everything. Free guesses on what's gonna happen, and the first two don't count, Dad.
Let me guess, there's going to be a twister that's going to cause them to unite under circumstances, probably because of a kid that they have or something, and then they realize they're actually in love with each other and get back together.
You overshot a bit, but it's basically that. This miraculous set of twisters that is going to happen for this movie is gonna be what rekindles their love. You know what's the worst part?
What a twist!
This is gonna go completely in spite of the new fiance that Bill is having, Melissa, with no fault of her own. You think that a movie like this will try to paint her as an antagonistic, force, like, oh, this is a woman that Bill fell in love with, but she wants to exploit his money, or she truly doesn't love him or anything. But no, she's just, a regular woman with no real anything going on that just loved Bill. But this movie hates her, basically, and will do anything
the
to
antagonistic
shoo her
would be the
away.
Twister.
Oh, she's gonna die, isn't she?
You'll see where this goes.
Because I was about to say, this is the same plot to San Andreas.
Des, it's funny you mentioned them reuniting because of a kid. They don't have kids yet, but their twin daughters are the protagonists of the sequel, apparently.
They kind of had to, considering, again, Bill Paxton is dead, and I don't think Alan Hunt returned for the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the end of the 90s, where those brick cell phones were a thing.
Did anyone come back for the sequel?
I don't think so.
No.
No, really, because, again, that's kind of the problem, Jova. The three more iconic actors in this movie are Alan Hunt, Bill Paxton, and Felicity Hoffman. Two of them were dead. The other decided to just not return, and none of the other extras from this ragtag group of Twister studiers is charismatic enough to potentially be brought back. So they just said, well, next generation, let's go. This is why a lot of people were like, why did you even make a sequel instead of a reboot? Which at the beginning was supposed to be, apparently, but it just reconverted into a sequel. Hey, look, it's Dorothy, because both Universal and Warner Bros. Were co-sharing for a while their rights to Wizard of Oz. Cute. These days, if I recall correctly, it's fully in Warner Bros. Hands.
Film rights, just as confusing as that now as they were back then.
Yeah.
I thought Wizard of Oz was technically public domain. It's just more so, obviously, the version with the ruby slippers are...
Yeah, the movie adaptation, that specific movie adaptation. This is why Disney was able to do an Oz great and powerful movie just skirting around the elements that the Universal movie back in the day did.
You know, the funny thing is, technically it's easier to do a proper adaptation since the ruby slippers were strictly something original to that version. It's actually supposed to be silver slippers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I hear about that film nowadays is the absolute shit production.
What, of the original Wizard of Oz movie?
Yeah.
I guess we can mention when we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the closest you can get to Melissa's character being, quote-unquote antagonist is that she doesn't understand the science that these people do, so she's not one of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quite honest. You could really have had this plot happen with the two still being happily married and not much would change, honestly, in the long run. I guess one could say that the Twister helps them realize their love for each other, but from what I recall, it's nothing noteworthy writing-wise.
Dej, in this movie, the Dorothy machine is supposed to study the inside of a tornado using, you guessed it, nanomachines.
Okay. I really do think this movie is an example of just how easy it was to do a disaster film back in the day, because I feel like in this day and age, this movie would be regarded as mostly boring since it's mostly people being tornado chasers, which, yeah, that's a real-life job and all, but, again, it's just people studying tornadoes. Oh, sure, yeah, there'll be some action and whatnot, but,
Philip, don't do that.
It's yes, of course there'll be action with a twister and all, but outside of, the twist with Joe's back... Yes, the twister with Joe's backstory and all that, there's not really much to write home about this movie. It's tornadoes. Huzzah. Also, can you imagine if M. Night Shyamalan had done a Twister movie?
If I had to guess, Jova, what they're trying to do in this movie is to recapture a bit what Ghostbusters did. These people who knew each other from school basically are super, best buddies, and their work is so, makes them so, gives them such a camaraderie, despite them being potentially goof-offs, but they get basically a result because they just believe hard enough.
And again, I do get it that there is still sort of a place for disaster films, but I feel like nowadays disaster films are kind of in one of two lanes. Either one, they more or less just play things straight, or two, they actually have a very special gimmick that actually gets people to notice them. Whereas back in the day, it was just you could do almost anything disaster film related and it was going to make money. But it seems that he left the papers with her.
So yeah, because of the twist, it seems that the filing of the divorce papers were to be postponed.
That is literally the only reason Bill Paxton's character is a factor in this movie.
So is this considered to be a cuck arc, or...?
Depends on your point of view,
Yeah,
really.
basically. It's better when, say, Dead Space 3 handling the topic, but that's not saying much. Oh, hold on. Okay, Dej, I don't know about you. I don't want to give you bad information or anything, but I have the slight suspicion that these vehicles that are passing by belong to the bad guys. I don't know, just
what gives you that idea?
Well, the movie is literally telling me.
Like the fact that they're super serious, all jet black with no extra attachment to it or anything, and Bill looks at them with disgust. And you know what's the best part about it, Dej? They're not technically even bad villains. They're just people who want to get to the Twister, to study the Twister first. That's it.
No.
And it's like, they're in it for the money. Yeah, because it's their job.
But Tia, don't you get it? They're in it for the money, not the science. How dare they?
You do need money.
You're doing something dangerous for money. That doesn't make you a bad person if you're risking your life.
But don't you see, Deji? They're not believing in their job enough. That makes them villains.
Dad, stow away your capitalistic ideals.
No, unless they're actively doing something like that. It's like if they're actively sabotaging them, it's like, okay, fine. Or, but
they have some rivalry going on to them, but if I remember correctly, they never at any point try to actively kill them, just sabotage their work, because they have that, agonistic spirit with them.
Now, mind you,
I don't see why you would sabotage each other's work if you both research on the same topic. It would benefit the both of you. It's like, oh, we have the results, but we further more. Whatever. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how these systems work.
DOT-free. So yeah,
the 90s.
It's like Dorothy, but
I don't know why that angered me.
God, the 90s really, 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 really like to act scientific by just making the strangest looking stuff ever.
There was a growing sense of optimism about technological achievement, which, to be fair, was happening. So it's just that, we switch in just a decade, from 90s to 2000, we switch around from this to the rise of basically the tech bros.
Oh, but here's an issue. Apparently, Jonas stole Bill's design. Right, yeah, back when Bill was married with Joe.
So, yeah, technically he did it on a technicality, so he technically did not steal it. It's kind of similar to how Alexander Graham Bell is considered officially the inventor of the telephone, even if Antonio Meucci technically did it first. He was not able to patent it, so, finders keepers and everything.
God, these guys sound like 80s bullies.
That's because, again, this movie is trying to treat these, scientific competition as both, university bros doing, their school project, but also super serious. It's so bizarre in the way it's portrayed. I also have to give it credit of them having, relatively diverse scientific group. Forgot the name of the other girl is, but, she's playing to be just, another member of the crew rather than to be eye candy.
Well, yeah, the 90s was also about trying to truly diversify female roles. And again, that's not to say we weren't seeing strong, empowered female characters even before the 90s. Like, arguably, as early as the birth of cinema, we were technically seeing that. But the 90s was where the message was starting to get clear. Let girls be more than just eye candy.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
What's wrong, Bill?
Yeah, we're kind of reverting backwards in a way.
Let's say the line, Dad.
Time is a flat circle.
Yay!
Uh-oh, Bill's ex and his fiance.
I love it. Even with just a few lines, they really could not, restrain themselves into the fade in the back they'll test. But wait, here's another thing, dude, Edge. Apparently, Bill has a sixth sense to spot when a tornado is gonna happen. How does
Now
it
you
have
see
to?
why.
Don't fucking know.
You know, given what we find out later, it's funny to imagine that Joe originally just married him for that sixth sense ability.
I also love it. Look at Melissa. She's from the city, a bit stuck up. She doesn't even want gum offered to her. How dare she?
There, Bechdel test passed. We talked about gum.
Sorry, Drova. Again, it's a roller coaster.
No. The roller coaster is called Twister.
Of course.
Okay,
Now
so
available.
yes.
Now available at Six Flags.
So there was indeed actually a ride based off of this movie called Twister. Ride It Out.
Yeah, like we said, the filming did cause some problems because apparently Bill Paxton and Ellen Hunt did not stand each other.
Let's see. It was the ride that replaced Ghostbusters Spooktacular and would later get replaced by Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon in 2017. So yeah, it opened up in 1998 and stayed there until 2015.
Lemonade.
Why do you have to go with Joe? No, seriously, why?
Don't you see, Drova? The thrill of the hunt for a tornado is calling him.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Like a tornado. Yeah, see? It's connected.
Like, legit. The whole thing with him being divorced from Joe is pointless, really. Like, okay, even if you don't know they're gonna get together, I can assure you, the whole divorce barely plays a factor into things, and the fiance feels like she's just there to pad out the roster more than anything.
What is happening?
Philip Seymour Hoffman is playing the junkie friend. And my god, is it jarring.
Can you imagine that in another timeline they might have chose him to play Shaggy in the live-action Scooby-Doo movie?
God.
The one wearing the hat?
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
Look, I'm sorry, Matthew Lillard is just too perfect for the role that I cannot imagine anybody else playing that type of Shaggy.
What about Will Forte?
Who?
Exactly.
Don't, no phone while driving, Missy.
Who?
Huh?
You know, I'm just gonna Google it.
I'm talking about Will Forte. Basically, he played Shaggy and Scoob.
Oh my god.
Trust me, it did not work.
I barely remember that Scoob cast besides Zac Efron as Fred, and I felt like he barely did anything.
That's just one of the biggest problems with Scoob. They replaced the iconic voice actors that we were used to with... I can't even say box office lures, because Matthew Lillard was big at that time, so replacing him as Shaggy made literally
I can understand if they want to replace everyone with younger talents, because I guess...
I'm pretty sure Will Forte is older than Matthew Lillard.
No, yeah, like younger talent who are a bit unknowns or semi-popular, that would have been fine. But that movie just screams, we wanted to make a cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, now how well did that turn out?
Well, it sounds like he's more to be blamed for that than anything. Just to add something new, because I forgot about this detail too, just to add to everything else that is being piled up, Melissa, if you remember, the fiance that Bill is supposed to, marry when he needs to file this divorce paper on, she's also a therapist, a psychologist and everything. So again, the movie is also, taking the piece out of her, similar to, how lawyers were being taken the piece in the early 90s with stuff like Hook.
To be fair, I don't think they really poke fun at her for being a therapist.
Well,
and
okay,
hey,
not the characters in the movie, but we just got that scene where she has to answer the phone while driving, and she's spouting generic advices to show that, maybe she just doesn't care.
Concentrate on what you're doing rather than having a petty argument, you dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, okay, to the film's credit, I don't think that's them really, again, taking the piss out of her being a therapist.
No, it's just another thing added to it. It's what I mean.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this movie is good so far.
Like I said, I feel like
I'm sorry to feel like I might have been tricked.
I can't remember exactly when I started. When I first watched it, maybe it's because Twisters was coming out, so I wanted to get the full deal with this movie.
You were also in the original commentary, Leaves. If you forgot.
Oh yeah. I remember not liking it very much.
No, it's one of those things that the movie in itself is questionable at best, but I argue personally that it's fun to make fun of.
Again, I'll admit, maybe I will have more fun making fun of it, but like I've said, I feel like this movie is a key example of how it is truly a success of its time, in the sense that it was made where disaster film mania was at its peak, essentially, because I feel like a movie that's kind of this by the numbers would not have made nearly as much money in, like, say, the 2010s.
I do wonder how much Chevrolet actually, was okay with having their vehicles being handled by the bad guys.
If there's a steady enough paycheck in mind, I'll allow you to do anything you'd like with my cars.
I guess. I do wonder there. It is. I do wonder if one car company potentially might have a clause similar to Apple. He says we only want good people in the movies to use it.
I know that there's a case where some car companies have been a bit iffy about getting their cars destroyed in certain scenes, so sometimes...
we probably should not watch, I forgot the English name. There's a German TV series that's popular in my country that is called like something Autobahn Polizei 11, something like that, which is basically police procedural similar to CSI, and they smash cars all the time in that.
Oh boy. I kind of get why they don't like their cars getting destroyed, since in some cases, financially speaking, it creates a kind of concern and arguably lack of confidence as some of those cars get easily destroyed more easily than they should have in films and whatnot. Like, a lot of car companies want to give the idea that they're selling, decent cars.
Alright, so here's the thing, if you notice that, the trick with Dorothy is that they need to actually release the fucking thing inside the tornado for it to work. So they need to put themselves actually in danger to do it.
That's actually stupid.
And it roars!
Yes! Okay, alright. So, Tio has garnered a bit of a theory that the tornadoes roaring in this might be Yondabont retaining a bit of trauma. Okay, Dej, have you ever heard of this movie called Roar?
Called what?
Roar.
No.
Roar is a movie where basically this family that wanted to show the importance of wildlife preservation made a movie starring, I kid you not, a ton of giant cats.
Lions,
that were all
lions,
untrained.
And more lions.
There were lions. Oh yeah, there were a few tigers, a panther here and there, an elephant. Basically, it was a movie with lions that weren't trained. And these were not special effects. Needless to say, there were a lot of casualties and a lot of staff turnover with that movie.
Oh, I'm sure this dinky bridge will hold on.
Yeah, considering the tornado destroyed a farm.
Beautiful. Watch this.
A barn.
Yeah.
So I'm just like...
Joe, what the fuck?
No, I have to see it! Believe it or not, there is a plot explanation for this. It is stupid, but Jesus
What,
Christ,
was she the little girl who saw her dad die at the beginning?
I wonder.
But yeah, somehow
this is the same tornado that killed her dad.
Yes, it's back with a... If this was like an animated movie done by someone like Richard Rich, it probably would be.
Fine, I'm taking your truck.
Yeah, and with this force, the bridge still holds on, despite everything.
That's
yeah,
not...
Sure,
I don't think that's how it... Okay, it's a movie. It's a movie.
And it just dissipates like that. Okay, yes, it is true that, for those who don't know anything about atmospheric science and everything, yes, a tornado can suddenly appear and disappear like that. But this movie pushes that convenience to extreme levels. Well,
get it? She asked where her truck is and it crashed in front of the fiancé. Wah, wah. But yeah, no, basically, Roar was a movie that starred a ton of untrained lions. And as you can imagine, they attacked the staff a lot. Yondabont was a cameraman during that film, and his head basically got obliterated by a lion. It's kind of a medical miracle, but he had to get a ton of stitches to put it back together, which might explain why he might have had some weird behavioral activity. I don't want to say it gave him outright brain damage, but I would not be surprised. Trauma, yeah, which, again, I do wonder if Tio might be onto something that he made the tornadoes in the film roar as memory of those lions.
I don't think anything rose in Speed 2, I don't remember that at least, but something of the horror effects in The Haunting definitely does.
That too, yeah. So here's also part of my issue with this film. The characters are dumb. Dumb as rocks.
Yeah.
Let me put it like this. A lot of the tension that comes from this film is them willingly putting themselves in danger for these damn tornadoes. Like, honestly, this movie would be over a lot quicker if they just called it quits and said,
Dusty,
you know what?
Stop sexually assaulting the driver. Jesus Christ.
But Jova, we need to do this so that we can make better early warning systems.
You know, again, I feel like a movie is more effective when the characters aren't stupid, unless you're making a spoof, in which case, yeah, make them stupid.
Also,
but the problem is, this film tries to act like these people are geniuses.
Also, this is a movie that is very well resonating mostly for people in America and Southeast Asia, because in the rest of the world, tornadoes on this kind of level are kind of a rarity.
Basically, a tornado typically needs a very, very, very long plane of land, essentially.
And also specific atmospheric conditions, which, just so happens that specific portion of United States and Southeast Asia are particularly rich for, sadly.
Now, to their credit, tornadoes are apparently considered the worst natural disaster. This is partly due to the fact that they can take on different forms and whatnot. You ever hear about fire tornadoes? Yes, those are real, actually.
I think
can
they're
happen.
called fire devils.
No. You're thinking of dust devils, which is when a tornado merges with Earth.
Okay.
Of course, you've got hurricanes, but to be fair, those don't always come in the form of tornadoes. But yeah, a water tornado can be that, and also basically, tornadoes are the avatar of natural disasters when you think about it.
There's a reason why for big winds, while they did not happen regularly, they were also present roughly for the Far East Asian coast, so Japan, China, Korea, and similar. So that's why when you have the deity Fujin or a yokai that represents wind, they have that big sack behind their back because that's supposedly we channel air and then release it through there. And it's also the hilarious way the Mongolians' invasion perished instead of actually managing to invade Japan twice.
Go figure.
Ghost of Tsushima really is just basically their best attempt.
Man, 90s films also really love those shots of people yelling over intercoms back to the office as well.
While looking at computers.
Again, the fact that I can line up a lot of this stuff with that of the volcano movie we commentated on just really showcases that there was just that formula when it came to disaster
trust me, Joe,
movies.
I'm not running out of these anytime soon. Deep Impact, Armageddon, Dante's Peak, I can do this all day.
Okay, Teo, I have an idea for a crazy podcast now.
Okay.
What?
2012 versus The Day After Tomorrow.
God. I
That sounds like the worst crossover ever.
I haven't
like,
seen
which one is better?
I haven't seen them in a long time, so that will have to take a bit of revisitation. But don't you see? Bill is having his sixth sense to understand the angulation where the tornado will actually go, while Jonas is relying on those infernal machines that costed a lot of money.
Also see, Bill and Joe have so much chemistry, while the poor fiance is bewildered as to what they're even talking about.
But don't you see, Jova, that's because she's a therapist. She's supposed to be, cold and distant, because she's
That's not
she's from the big city and all.
That's not how it... Therapists are smart because you had to go to school and take a degree and and have social whatever.
Not necessary for her being a therapist, but you have to think her like the hallmark character archetype of the woman who has reached a nice position in business, but the movie plot clobbers her for making that decision. If you know what I mean.
Okay. I want to, again, to be fair, I don't think it's the film dissing her for being a therapist, but more so them going that, oh, look, she doesn't get it. Except the thing is, of course she doesn't get it. If she didn't, take a course in that stuff, it's like making fun of a mathematician for not getting,
biology.
Biology, yeah.
And
it's
also, this is
different fields of research, guys.
This also falls squarely on Bill's responsibility. You're telling me that in all of this, he barely talked about what these people were doing and everything.
But get it, guys, she's a reproductive therapist, so she's talking about helping a woman have a baby, which, again, I don't think it's the film making fun of her being a therapist, but the film thinking that's, a way to show off her character, I guess.
And the fact that she cannot, stop doing that. The 90s were obsessed with this idea of people not being able to physically stop working no matter the situation.
I guess to her credit, if she's on the clock, she has to be readily available, especially if it involves a woman giving birth, though. I'm like, did you not put in some time off or something? Are there not other people in your profession who can help?
Barn burner. Is that I guess it's another nomenclature.
That's the name that they put on their truck that basically has the device.
Right. Come on and slam and welcome to the jam.
God, the music trying to sound so
we haven't
epic
mentioned
for
who
this.
the composer is. So let me
it's
see.
Mark Mancina who did the music for Speed.
Oh, goody! It was also, I forgot about it. It was the composer's one of the composer's Space Mutiny, the movie with Red Brown.
Space Mutiny. Never
It's
heard of that one
it's the
before.
quintessential Red Brown Sherlock movie, sci-fi where he yells all the time.
Oh boy, from everyone's favorite Captain America, no less. Oh, he also did Brother Bear.
He co-composed for Disney in a couple of things.
Yeah, Tarzan, Training Day,
Even Lion
and
King.
Moana. Planes and Moana.
And
Huh.
now we got twin twisters.
So why is it this? So it's interesting. The next movie's called Twisters.
I guess they wanted to go for the naming convention of the Alien movies, but it's still weird.
You know, again, ignoring the fact that most of the cast were dead for Twisters, again, oh, there's the cow.
Yeah,
Bye,
that's
cow.
what I remember.
Yeah, that was bad CGI, I know.
Don't have a cow, man.
Wee.
You won't be
It's
after
funny.
this.
It's funny because it's an animal getting ripped instead of a human. I guess.
Don't worry, I'm sure the cow will be just fine.
Like I don't know what this movie is telling you about tornadoes, but they are very fatal just for the fact that they're carrying around a lot of debris. Like you're not getting thrown into a roller coaster, you're getting mincemeat by a bunch of debris flying at high speed to your body.
You stopped right in
Whee!
front of the damn thing.
In fact, I'm pretty sure one of the fatalities of Fujin in Mortal Kombat does this.
How? How did that thing not carry that truck into the heavens?
Nor at least destroy the car, at the very least. Like, we have 3 tornadoes in the same...
Because they're built different.
And they just disappear.
Okay.
Also because it's a Dodge.
This is like Godzilla in the 1998 movie. The threat just, poof, disappears when it's convenient.
Buy a Dodge.
So basically, guys, if you want to survive a tornado, basically spin your truck around and oh my god, he even lovingly hugs her in front of the fiance. Jesus. I don't know, guys. I think these two might get back together. Oh, honey, yeah, you're here.
Jesus.
So the way to escape getting sucked up by a tornado is to spin your car, basically,
But it has to be that
along with
specific
the tornado
brand.
somehow.
Buy that in stores now for only your lever.
So basically, drive a Dodge, and then when you're in the center of a tornado, spin the car around so that it goes in the right direction so it somehow doesn't suck you up. What kind of metaphor did you think that was? But, yeah, celebration. I guess we won that one?
And there was much rejoicing.
Yeah, here's another problem with the movie. Lack of what exactly our goal is exactly.
Supposedly, again, release those nanomachines in order to track down the activity of a tornado.
Yeah,
they still were not able to do it, but they got very close, meaning that their confidence is renewed.
The problem is, it's like, what's going to be so special? They can research the tornadoes. A thing we already
well, they said
do in
earlier
real
to
life.
try and create better, longer early warning systems.
Again, the idea is to gathering. You have to understand, Jova, if the current climate has not tipped you off yet, is that gathering information, no matter how pointless it may seem, is a very, very precious kind of thing that if someone has the power to do it, absolutely should do it.
I don't know. Let me make it clear. I get why in the long run they went research. My point is, why should we, the audience, be excited as they are? Because, okay, the idea of a disaster film is usually to have people, conquering the elements, typically, ultimately, it's about survival. My issue with this film is more so about that, yes, it's cool that they got it for research, but the fact that the characters aren't really worried about the fact that, they're getting involved with tornadoes makes me wonder, why should we be worried then?
Alright, Auntie Mag is played by Lois Smith, who started acting in the 50s.
Whose aunt is she? Bill's or Joe's?
Joe, I think. Funny enough, she was in a 1986 movie called Twisted. Okay.
Oh, she's also in Fatal Attraction too.
Also, I forgot the name, but I recognize another movie where she was in Minority Report in 2002. There you go.
Okay, that's actually a really nice looking steak.
Delicious.
Beef, it was for dinner. I don't think the punchline is that she's vegetarian, but that wouldn't really surprise me. But look at, oh no, these people, what are they eating? This kind of food, disgusting. Like,
it's like, okay, here's the thing.
Guys.
It's like, here's the thing. They're not making fun of her for being a therapist, but at the same time, I feel like even the writers didn't really know what they were doing with Melissa, other than just...
I think the big consistent thing, Jova, is that they want her to be the city mouse that is not used to this more rambunctious country life.
Okay, here's the problem. They don't even really play into that much. It's more so someone just told them, okay, show every scene that makes you question how Bill even fell in love with her because they're not compatible. Now, mind you, the film tries, the keyword being tries, to be mature about that fact, but at the end of the day, it's kind of limp and flaccid.
But enough about, sorry, Jova, what I'm saying is about what they said in the movie. But enough about Elon Musk.
Isn't this dialogue riveting?
Clearly.
Huh?
It's the saddest thing is that Hoffman and Paxton were all in worse movies after this.
Yeah.
I feel like Paxton was at least able to ride it out to better things.
Ride it out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hoffman was saddled with Patch Adams.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding, Dad. Patch Adams is one of the most offensive movie to me on a personal level.
So I did have to watch that for health class.
God, I had to do it too.
Wait, for real? Both of you guys?
Well,
wow,
remember,
what are the chances?
well, for different contexts, remember, Jova, for some reason, one of the teachers on the course that I did to be in the healthcare sector, wanted to show us as an example to how to behave for, in supporting our patient. And since I was the only one in the class who raised my hand at the end and was like, are you really sure it's a good thing? They really looked me really bad.
Okay, I'm guessing it was just in case that Patch Adams was one of the few big movies that focused on medical and mental
badly.
and all that help. But yes, it was badly.
See, I didn't get the chance to see it all the way through because I think I was in another program, so I had to miss a couple of health classes.
Oh, also this.
Jesus.
We don't talk about F5s in this house, young lady. I know what you're thinking, Dad. Is the punchline that, oh, did an F5 kill someone's parent? And yes, that is the punchline.
Basically, F5 is the biggest, the baddest, the mother-loading devil of tornadoes.
Actually, I played around Street Fighter, the Ultra Street Fighter 4 is not really particularly effective as a finishing move, if you ask me. What do you think, Dad?
Look, we gotta show she's hot.
Isn't that one of Brock Lesnar's moves?
F5, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than Cody's in Street Fighter.
I get, yeah.
It's kind of ironic. You know, it's kind of ironic what she said, knowing that Bill Paxton sadly died before Helen Hunt, who's still alive. We got one!
Okay,
We're totally Ghostbusters!
First of all, I need to be absolutely sure where are we supposed to be. Like, hey, we're in Oklahoma, if I recall correctly?
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Like, okay, Jova, help me out. Like, is the frequency of can the frequency of tornadoes be that much in just a span of not even a few days, almost the singular day in this specific location? Like, yes, I can believe due to pressure and everything, multiple tornadoes can happen, in a short amount of time, but in distant parts rather than around the same location.
Okay, to be fair, Oklahoma is within the heart of Tornado Alley, which is basically the midsection of America that gets a ton of tornadoes. And let's see, usually it gets around 68 tornadoes annually. Mind you, that is annually across a year. So for them to get this many tornadoes in, like, shoot, I think the spot's been over the course of one day. Yeah, I feel like some artistic license is taken with that. I'm also surprised that they didn't have it, take place in Kansas, especially since you're doing all the Dorothy stuff, so might as well.
I guess they did not want it to be too much on the nose on that matter, but then again, why should they restrain?
Wakita.
Like, you're a disaster movie in the 90s. Trying to avoid being on the nose is like telling a fish not to swim.
Especially because you can kind of tell that the movie wants to have fun with its own concept in some way. Also, cut to the bad guy, super serious in one, singular column. I get it, Ian. Jesus Christ.
Again, I guess credit where it's due. I might not be the most interested in this movie, but I can't deny, coming back to it, I do realize the inherent silliness and goofiness, and yet the fact that everyone, I guess, was committed to it, even the composer, with how over-the-top epic the score is.
That's our disaster movies in a nutshell, Jova. This is why my country ate up completely Independence Day, because we viewed it the same way instead of actually being a genuine patriotic kind of movie.
I guess, to be fair, it is partially counted as a disaster film as well, because sometimes aliens do get considered a natural disaster and whatnot. And again, I'm not going to say I don't get why disaster films were big in there. It's just, man, it's wild how, when you think about it, they did not have to do too much. Just put in a natural disaster, put in an over-the-top score with some A-list actors, boom, instant classic. I'm not going to act like they were never good, but like I said, I feel like this movie would not have done nearly as good in almost any other period of time in film history.
I completely forgot to mention, because I did not even recognize him again. Apparently, Jonas, the bad guy, the, Elon Musk wannabe who supposedly stole the ideas from Bill, that's Cary Elwes playing him. I did not recognize him.
Wait, Cary Elwes? Holy cow. Right? Yeah, no, he looked unrecognizable.
I'll need to check that in the next shot he shows up.
Yeah, Cary Elwes, the English actor himself.
So we got him to play the villain. We got the British guy to play the villain again.
Of course he did.
Beautiful.
That's typecasting, bro.
Also, he was in Liar Liar as well.
Like I said, Jova, after The Princess Bride and forgot the
Saw.
other. No. Before Saw, there was another movie other than Princess Bride that he was famous for. Basically,
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, Men in Tights. Thank you. After those two, those basically were the movies he was mostly recognized in. So he was trying to do literally anything to have another breakthrough.
I guess this was him trying to, not get typecast. Here he plays the over-the-top villain.
Oh, wait. Well, at the time, I guess it was a novelty for him.
That'd be like if back in the day, Bruce Willis decided he wasn't going to get typecast as a cop hero. Basically. So in the next movie that he did, he stars as a hero cop.
Yeah, that's kind of the ironic thing. him playing the over-the-top villain was new at this time, but then that later becomes something he was also kind of typecast for. Jesus Christ.
Also, due to its nature of having these action scenes with twisters, TM, this movie, as you can imagine, completely defies the typical structure of a movie of rising action, climax, and falling action. Instead, just is again a roller coaster.
I think the most unrecognizable Carrie always has been, though, was when he played Jerry in Liar Liar. Like, take a look at how he looks like in Liar Liar, and you'd be forgiven for not recognizing him. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't have his blonde hair, doesn't have a stash or any facial hair. Like, I'd sooner guess that was Matthew Broderick I'm looking at than Carrie always.
Alright, let me see if I can find instead info on the other ragtags of the group, because they do seem to have some level of value. There was a guy that was a discount Steve Buscemi, but that's not him. Okay, Rabbit is played by Alan Rock. Let me see.
Those are names I recognize.
He was also in Speed the 2 years prior, so he was accustomed to Ian the Bond. Right! Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Speaking of Matthew Broderick, how about that?
It was also that's because he played the captain in the initial sequence in Star Trek Generation, also in 1994.
But yeah, I'm definitely noticing a few of these actors did come back for Speed. I guess came back from Speed.
Alright, Sanders is played by Sean Whalen. Was in Halloween 2, Man in Black, Batman Returns, basically extras in all the movies.
Oh boy, hail.
Lovely. This is consistent because of a different way of pressure. Preacher is played by Scott Thompson. Oh, it was in the Police Academy movies. Welzer is played by Todd Field.
Get this, actually. So, there's actually a behind-the-scenes reason for Melissa's involvement here. You're gonna love this. She's included basically so that she can be used for the explanatory moments of the film.
Yeah,
basically.
She's supposed to be the audience surrogate. Which I get it, as a way to convey exposition to the viewer, but could have done a better job, I will say. I love that the tornado infogram almost looks like the Pepsi logo, just with green instead of blue.
Also, believe it or not, we could have had Tom Hanks in the role for Bill Harding instead.
I couldn't see that.
He had okay, to be fair, he was kind of doing some action stuff if Forrest Gump's anything to go by in the 90s, so...
True, but Tom Hanks is still more about the guy about, having to make the audience feel good and everything, while Bill here is technically trying to do a mix between that, but also more about the action hero. Get it? She's trying to covering herself with the umbrella, but she cannot. Hilarious.
Okay, she's actually not wrong about Joe being the craziest.
Yeah.
Trust me, audience, when that plot point comes up...
Also, bad CGI both.
Okay, so let's see. As for why this takes place in Oklahoma, DeBont wanted the Storm Chaser crew to resemble the ones he met during pre-production, a team of University of Oklahoma grad students. So, the National Severe Storms Laboratory, NSSL, in Norman, Oklahoma, worked closely with the production, training the crew on weather safety, allowing the actors to visit their facilities, and go along on an actual tornado chase. And they provided consultations for the script. That included discarding an impossible tornado that would last a day and a half instead. So basically, believe it or not, originally there was supposed to be a tornado that lasted a day and a half, but consultations from actual experts made them instead go for more so an outbreak of tornadoes, which apparently can strike at any place at any time in any location with different magnitudes. So technically, it is logistically possible that this sort of stuff with the tornadoes could be happening.
For this specific, place, it will be a matter of, national security by this point.
Oh yes, it would be. That bit is still some artistic license.
I think, I also need to raise this question. Okay, also, yeah, it just disappears again.
The implication seems to be that the tornado just knocked over their tech and then vanished.
Of course,
like it was all part of a scheme.
Also, I really don't understand their logic that the Dorothy device needs to be inside the tornado to release all the spheres, to monitor him. The fact that they were knocked over and everything, that really doesn't change much if the tornado passes over and collects them.
I'm gonna be honest, it's really just an excuse for them to have to pull off an incredibly dangerous stunt involving the tornado.
They need to be done in a very specific way, and they keep fucking up.
Here's an idea. Why don't you make something that burrows into the ground so that can, record the tornado from there?
Remind me, Glibs, since you saw the sequel, if I recall correctly, the sequel kind of pokes fun at this movie by suggesting at the beginning that the device really doesn't work or something.
I don't remember too much.
Okay.
But yeah, surprise, surprise, the tornado was back building. All part of its evil, magnificent scheme. I wish I was joking.
You know what? Considering this movie, again, in the hilarious part is that apparently, despite being a Universal and Warner Bros. Production, for reasons that escape me, nowadays, at least on Europe, this movie is on Disney Plus. For some reason.
Beautiful.
So fuck it. Put in Kingdom Hearts. Make the tornado being one of the Greek titans from Hercules. At least you're tying things together.
So let me get this.
Silly tale. Disney properties don't mix with each other in Kingdom Hearts.
Wait. Guys, here we go. It's the scene. To be fair, her dad died because of it, so telling her to forget it is kind of a dumb move. But no, this is legit it. She wants to predict tornadoes because she is convinced that they had a terrible plan to murder her father, basically.
And of course, since the radio is on, everyone captures that, including Melissa, which of course, tips her off of, wow, the guy that I'm supposed to marry is a fucking twat.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Of all the things that makes her lose it with him, I think making her be upset that he's comforting Joe in a time where Joe's trying to do something incredibly insane is kind of dumb. Lady, what is he supposed to do? Let Joe go off on this crazy suicidal quest?
Look at the bright side. He wouldn't have to sign the divorce papers anymore.
Oh,
God.
But again, this old cock-arc in this movie is forced. That's basically what we've been, circling around, like a tornado, on the matter. It's just so forced, and it's annoying as shit.
So there you go, Deads. The real plot behind this movie is basically tornadoes are apparently serial killers that we need to stop.
Clearly.
And supposedly this epidemic of tornadoes is a coordinated effort between the Tornado Brothers to, I don't know, take over the world or something.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard you guys tell me.
So far.
Yes.
Look at that, actually. It's a Shining.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, for a second there, I accidentally pressed the movie.
Get it? Because Warner Bros. Was co-product. This is not a scary part, girl. What the fuck are you doing?
Guy, it's kind of disturbing.
Okay, to be fair, isn't that interjected with shots of those little girls as bloody corpses and all that?
I guess sometimes. Oh, like this.
Oh yeah, like right there.
I guess this movie could get
drive-in theaters.
I guess this movie could get away with a rating just because it was a split second. This is like the fighting clown method, just sneaking a single frame of a penis and nobody will notice.
Yeah. Hey kids, you see this R-rated film? Well, if you want to find out what happens, go and buy it at your local Blockbuster.
Silly Jova, Warner Bros. Will never stood that low into just trying to shamelessly promote its movies into making, movies that are about that.
Never.
On an unrelated note, go watch Ready Player One.
Don't.
So, I just love the irony that a film that was a collaboration between Universal Studios and Warner Brothers is now being showcased on Disney Plus. Mind you, now even flipping Shrek is being shown on Disney Plus, so I don't know what the heck is going on.
Apparently, Disney has some kind of deal with Universal for, I guess, on a temporary distribution of their system.
Wasn't that supposed to be what Peacock was for, though? Streaming Universal stuff? Oh, wait, right. Peacock's not doing great.
I'm pretty confident the world has stopped, running on logic, something like between 6 and 10 years ago.
The only thing people use Peacock for nowadays is just to watch Ted.
Oh, not even wrestling?
Oh, they lost their streaming rights for that now.
Wow.
Now watching, oh god, it's so complicated, because if you want to watch Raw, you have to use Netflix. If you want to watch the WWE pay-per-views, you have to use Disney Plus with the ESPN section.
Unless you're European like me, in which case almost all of it's on Netflix.
You're lucky that way, but...
I forgot where you have to watch SmackDown.
SmackDown here is on Netflix like everything else, but in the US it's still on USA.
Look, I'll just say this, streaming is going to be turning into cable 2.0 eventually.
Pretty sure it already is.
Cable companies turning into Thanos. Now that streaming fumbled. You cannot live with your own failures. Where did I get you? Back to me.
Like, the one thing they have now is the fact that we can at least choose whatever we want to watch, whenever we want to watch it. Melissa's fondling the ring like she's having second thoughts.
But wait a minute. Hold on. Billy sensing a disturbance in the force. It's almost... wait... It's almost like some sort of a twister happening.
What a twister!
I'm actually genuinely surprised. Jova and Waves, you can help me. Which tabletop game distribution company owns the right to the Twister game? Is it Hasbro?
Oh wait, hold on.
Hold on, let me check.
Because I'm genuinely surprised that they did
Milton Bradley.
Oh, okay. I'm genuinely surprised they did not throw a hissy fit over name copyright.
You can't own the name Twister.
That hasn't stopped people in the past, and it certainly wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. I remember when King, the creators of Candy Crush, tried to copyright the name Candy, and like, no.
Copyrighted Cataclysm for some reason.
That being said, okay, so it's produced by Milton Bradley Company and Winning Moves Games USA, but the publisher is Hasbro and Nintendo.
Huh. Yeah, Nintendo used to actually make toys in the past.
Yeah.
Anyway, iconic line.
Don't you see? It followed us here.
So yeah, it's not only it's a new tornado, it's an F5. Oh, and check this out, Dad. We're about to get more, hand-fisted symbolism in your face.
Look, it's that scene from The Shining. And the tornado's passing through.
Joe, for fuck's sake. At some point, your stupidity will actually get you killed.
No, don't you get it? The tornado is challenging me. It's mocking me for how it killed my father.
That's why it's roaring, of course.
My father isn't actually dead. He was kidnapped by the tornado.
Wait.
And it's using him for his power, I guess.
Wait.
Your father's John Kent? Holy cow, that music sounds like it came from the Ark of the Covenant. Joe, you moron. Okay, to be fair, she is helping that kid, so fair enough. Okay.
Alright, here we go.
And now...
Get it? It fades in on Jack Nicholson's face because the tornado is evil. Did you get it? Yeah, you almost got you almost got Kung Loud.
But look at it.
I'm in
The
love
two
with you,
looking-
or something like that now.
A brand new car! This tornado is Oprah Winfrey. You get a car! You get a car!
Oh no, I hope we don't get crushed by that Ford!
What could be a worse fate than that?
Being crushed by a Chevy?
No, I got it. Getting crushed by a beetle.
Or DeLorean.
This is the worst Top Gear episode I've ever seen. The worst part is that you just know that it's Hammond piloting the tornado because everything is being crashed.
Well, I mean, I suppose James May could survive because, actually, no, he's so slow to do anything. And Clarkson would just be the opposite. He's just going to power through everything.
I don't recognize instead what this movie is.
It's a movie.
Definitely a movie. Probably another Universal Warner Bros. Old movie. Oh, wait a minute.
And then the tornado crashes in on Joe's aunt's house and tells her, "Finish it! Finish it!" Just to send Joe a message.
Oh, it's the 50s version of A Star is Born. Okay, that they're watching. Another Warner Bros. Movie. Okay.
Police, you're all under arrest. Why are you all hiding in that shed?
You're under arrest for, illegal tornado piloting action.
We didn't pilot the tornado.
Very likely stories. Tell that in court.
Tell it to the judge.
I guess now's the time where we have to be serious because now even Philip Seymour Hoffman's junkie character is acting serious.
Because again, that was an F5.
Yeah. Imagine if something even bigger came.
What about an F6?
Have F6 ever been recorded ever since this movie was made?
Let me
know.
check.
Considering all the bizarre, climate shift that has been happening in recent times, I wouldn't be too surprised. My country has started having a bit more of tornadoes, but still, tiny speck compared to what happens in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not have mobiles?
Lives, you sound like that guy in QuakeCon. Do you guys not have phones?
Also, these are the 90s, so,
So
Yeah,
Melissa is enough. She wants to quit the movie.
Now, okay, if her reasoning was just, look, it's getting too dangerous. I understand that this might be your thing. But no, she doesn't even try to get him to come back with her. She's just, no, I can't compete with this.
And again, it's mostly Bill's fault. I'm sorry. Like, it wasn't his responsibility to join the crew. It was just, got over his excitement. And he put her in danger. It's his fucking fault.
Yes.
But
And yet the
I guess
problem-
it doesn't matter because true love conquers all or some shit. Thanks, Ian and Michael.
Sure.
Like, that's the thing. Her reasoning isn't even just, oh, it's too dangerous. It's just, no, you're clearly still in love with your wife, which, okay, look, don't get me wrong. He was doing some jackass stuff, but I feel like a lot of his stuff was trying to help. And again, the thing is that really sends me is that the tipping point for her is him comforting Joe when Joe was trying to do something crazy and insane. Like, again, of all the things you could have, like, pegged him for, you chose, like, the one thing that actually made sense he was doing.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm...
again, I get about the audience, surrogate for exposition purposes, but I could have easily lived with just a small explanation, slideshow at the beginning to get the audience caught up, and then just have, like you suggested, Jova, Bill and Joe already together on their own.
And the sad thing is, yeah, that's it. She's gone from the movie. She was basically used as a narrative writing tool.
Great job,
Which,
guys.
oh god, makes me realize kind of makes her the Paul of this movie when you think about it.
No, I don't want to think about that.
no, because she's actually a good person who did literally nothing wrong.
Like, Paul is only good in the eyes of the people who wrote him initially, and I don't understand what do they see. Oh, and apparently she sees herself in the kid? What?
Okay.
Joe, you have issues.
I'm also gonna say this right now. I still feel like it's extremely hackish that they killed him off instead of trying to make him a good character.
Oh, don't worry, Jova. It's the Marvel universe. He's gonna come back as a variant of the Green Goblin like 6 months from now.
It's so stupid. Why is... I know writing isn't easy. It's a hard thing, but there are just some things like, why do you make this harder for yourself and the audience? Why are you the way that you are?
Sometimes it just happens. I want to remind you, Dangervent, all the casualties that happened in Avengers Disassembled happened because of movie rights bullshit. Apparently Marvel wanted to clean the slate with characters that they believed were not made sufficiently, appealing presence for movie audience, and only stick with the core ones that were having movies at the time, like Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Because that's what's important about the comics. Who's big in the movies? Ugh.
The movie's supposed to be advertising for the comics so they can give people more to... Whatever, what do I know?
Okay, look, I'll just say this about Paul's death, though. I normally don't like when a character gets wasted like that, but here's the thing. Paul does not feel like a character. He was at best a writing tool. A writing tool that they also decided, hey, let's have this guy accidentally help commit genocide. Oh, hey, Mose.
Hi, doggy.
The poor dog. But yeah, no, like, Paul was nothing more than a literary device meant to keep Peter and MJ separated. Other writers did not even like him. I want to make that clear. Like, only the most corporate and whoever created him legit liked him. Anyone else who was saddled with him made him out to be the joke that he is, essentially.
Also, to Dweeb's delight, the destruction of the city, the small town here with where the
Was
young
off
cat
screen.
was off screen.
Look
Did they run
out!
out
Here
of
comes the
budget or something?
TV. I guess. Okay. To be fair, I guess the idea is like to give it a sense of dread and truly show
What's
what
the moral
did.
exactly? Too much TV can crush you.
Yeah,
Remember,
that's what
Dweebs, the
happens when
moral
you
is
stay too
that.
close to the TV.
Remember, Dweebs, the moral is that tornadoes are evil. They're always planning, and that's why we need to be ready to fight them.
That's the thing, Jovak. Beforehand, we called the F5 the finger of God. I'm not sure you're painting a nice, picture here. Then again, these movies made by the States where a good percentage of, religious people are not job or actually, hoping for the end times or something. So, what do I know?
To be fair, the one who said it was the finger of God wasn't Joe. Like, the rest of the people don't believe tornadoes are evil. It's mostly Joe's problem. The problem is the film treats Joe like she's right ultimately.
Because much like with Bill, she has a sort of a sixth sense for a tornado. Just instead of perceiving them, she understands them empathically or something.
I love how we can basically attach the
God.
trolls meme.
I love how Bill Paxton is clearly struggling to keep up that fucking golden retriever designs. Those boys are not particularly light.
And just imagine you had the Bond thing like, Bill, keep hold of it, but yeah, it's too heavy. Do you want Spielberg to yell at me again? No,
Okay,
then
Jesus.
hold on to your dog.
I get it. You did not need to destroy the animals that extra way. Like, again, at this point, the US government should be doing something. Okay, 1996. Who was the president at the time, Jova?
Clinton?
Clinton?
I think it was Clinton.
Oh,
yeah.
God, we are screwed.
Well, we were getting one of our best economic booms under him, so I guess it wasn't all
That doesn't do
bad.
jack shit if there's not, immediate decision into helping people in need.
Like, if I recall correctly, he for the most part did improve stuff. Obviously the ride got ruined with that thing that happened.
Joe, what are you doing? That's a cast. You're not supposed to move the arm that way. What the fuck are you doing?
So get this, though. It turns out that tornado that was at the movie theater, it wasn't an F5. It was an F4. And apparently there's an actual F5 coming on the way that's going to be bigger, badder, and
Faster
worse.
and stronger, too. It's the first member of the tornado crew.
Beautiful. It's harder,
Twister.
better, faster,
Yeah,
stronger.
Twisters are here. Yeah, Twisters. You better run away.
Fear was right there, Dedge.
There's the F5. What are the odds?
So the F5 is the final boss.
Joe, you need to stop it before somebody
You
else
go
gets killed.
Stop the tornado.
You don't. That's the neat part.
Actually, Jova, to be fair, it was a reasonable point. According to Hercules, you had to grab it by the small, part when it connects to the ground, and then rotate it over your head until you throw it in the galaxy.
I think we forgot about the part where you need to be a demigod to do that. And last I checked...
That's quitter talk, Jova. Come on.
But Tio, Sharknado told me actually that the way you stop a tornado is by blowing it up.
Yeah, using liquid nitrogen canisters, I think. I don't even remember
that
what exactly
dynamite,
they do.
I think.
Yeah, they use some sort of explosive, but I forgot which one.
Okay, this is the part where I have to wonder if the writers wrote themselves into a corner and went, what are we doing? Screw it, make it that they're fighting the damn thing. Like, it's one thing to try and research it, but now Joe and her aunt are talking about stopping it. Like, trying to stop a tornado.
That's not even the goal of their scientific experiment. It's about analyzing the fucking thing, not physically stop it. Huh?
Yeah, but then the movie decides, nope, now it's gotta be about stopping a tornado. Like, what? How? Why? Like, yes, one could maybe say there was some foreshadowing with Joe's obsession, but this does not feel like the logical conclusion to come to. The year is 2026. We are to the point where space technology is now so advanced that we have astronauts testing for deep space travel. We still do not have a hope in high heaven of controlling tornadoes yet. Despite what some truthers think.
This movie loves Pepsi. Holy shit.
Okay, how much did Pepsi pay?
Probably a lot.
More than they paid for Madam Web.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that part of the reason why this movie exists is just so Warner Brothers can show off their old archive.
Look, like I said, Dwibs, disaster movies were just the in thing to do for the time. And it really wasn't that hard. Just have a natural disaster, put it in the title, bam, people off to the cinema.
So there you go. Pepsi will save the day by fabricating the small Dorothy, extra appendages. Yes,
and there's the
F5. Keep roaring, mate.
Remember me, Joe? When I killed your father, I roared just like this! Boy, this movie has just all the glorious cameos, doesn't it? But wait a minute, wasn't there like a rival team or something in this movie?
Yeah, what happened to Jonas?
Again, this is another problem.
They're burning up right now.
This is another problem with the script here. It really feels like the writers legit forget about important plot points, only to go, oh crap, we forgot about this. Let's give it some meaning now when it's far too late. You gotta love that heroic music as our heroes go off to stop an F5 tornado. And you know what? The thing is, I feel like this is a bit where they just needed to go balls to the wall insane, actually. But no, they try to be somewhat grounded with this. As grounded as you can with this premise, but still. Like, to give a movie like Hackers credit, Hackers at least went balls to the wall insane with what they thought cyber hacking was. Alright, place your bets, folks. Who will win? These two, or that giant-ass tornado that tears up everything in its path?
Actually, I think the tornado's got an outside chance.
You know, for as much as we made fun of the fact that the volcano in Volcano the movie was supposedly a bad guy, at least fighting it made somewhat more sense in there since they were diverting the lava flows and whatnot. There is literally no way you combat a tornado unless you're Superman.
Or Hercules, as I mentioned.
Wait, maybe it's... Oh, of course! How could I have not seen it? That tornado...
He's carrying a car!
Oh lord, it is.
So, well, actually, honestly, this has actually made 06 a little bit better, it just being one gigantic Twister reference.
Now, but don't you see, that tornado is commanded by the will of Kevin Costner's Pa Kent, who won't allow Superman to rescue him. That's why it's that powerful.
Genius.
It's a showing of how you can't fight the weather. It's a tornado.
At this point of a movie, that's a very stupid question to ask Bill.
I know, right? What is that? It's a tornado, dumbass.
Unless they were referring to the truck that was being dumped onto them, but I don't think that's the case.
Either is stupid.
I guess despite going through full force, it just mildly bumped them.
I guess to the movie's credit, it didn't have the truck explode on impact as soon as it hit them. Now it explodes,
There
though.
it is.
I mean, look, it was a gasoline truck. You knew it was going to blow up eventually.
Yeah, it's better justified than being a random Pinto.
But man, that Dodge truck just blew through those lanes like nothing. Man, I feel like I need to suddenly get a Dodge Charger.
Did Michael Bay sneak in and direct this bit?
Wasn't he busy with The Rock at this time?
Yeah, better movie.
Which is
know,
when The Rock is surprisingly restrained compared to this, so it makes you wonder what happened to Michael.
You know, that's the ironic thing. During the big boom of disaster films, Michael Bay was giving us one of the more restrained films in the 90s.
Don't worry, Drover. He joined the fray with Armageddon soon enough. So.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll still show you eventually. That's also a Disney movie, fully, because it was a Jerry Bruckheimer production for Buena Vista.
What movie was that again?
Armageddon.
Yeah. Funnily enough, The Rock actually did come out in 1996 as well. Basically, Dej, The Rock is about how Ghost Rider has to work with Indiana Jones's father, James Bond, while fighting against the likes of Dr. Cox. Yeah, so there's Jonas again, finally.
But he's thoroughly refusing the opinion that Bill is giving to him, even if he's telling him it's too dangerous.
Because he thinks they want to sabotage them. And yeah, come to think of it, we thought that Jonas's team sabotaged them, but no, they never do. The film really just kind of forgets about Jonas for a while.
The closest he did was to, steal, quote-unquote, a line of dialogue in terms of speculation that he relayed to the newscaster. That's it.
Yeah.
Even as a tech bro with no originality going on, Jesus, he's pretty tamed. And there goes the villain. The Twister takes care of him.
Don't you see, Tio? For those crimes, he deserves death.
Does he? I really need to question that.
Okay, yeah. So apparently I wrote this bit and didn't know.
Also,
no, Dibs, if you wrote that, you would have had the idea that he merges with a tornado and becomes the ultimate villain of a movie.
I love it.
I'd have done that bit just then.
I love it. Just in case you think he might survive, they literally have the truck explode.
I mean, to be fair, that basically annihilates any chance of him coming back in the sequel. Don't discount that. Cary Elwes probably would have done that.
No. Don't you understand? He'll come back, but mangled, more machine than man.
Okay, this is
more tornado now.
Okay, this has got to be the worst set of days for people in Oklahoma ever. Because, how many properties have these tornadoes destroyed by now?
Okay, now here's the part where the movie basically becomes a video game.
Although, surprisingly, there was no tie-in video game to this. I guess the time was not ripe enough.
Twist to the video game.
I mean, on the SNES Mega Drive, I could have seen it happening.
That tornado throws everything at them, and oh, here we go!
This is immensely stupid.
Up the stairs and everything!
But cool.
So you see, guys, the moral is buy a Dodge Charger. It'll save your life.
Man, we used to have movies with soul that would take risks like this.
a load of really stupid shots in the cinema actually required a lot of work by the crew to pull off.
Yeah, that.
Look, I'm fine with the movie being earnest about it.
All right, time to deploy Dorothy. Let's see if I don't. It's only I don't even know what time it is. Like how much time is the charm? Basically, like 4, I think.
Like, here's the thing: any sane person would have thrown in the towel, but no, like they consider it truly this
why
important.
do you need? I'm sorry. Why do you need the car? Why can't you just park the car somewhere, or drop this thing in a location where you know the tornado will pass over, and just let it fly?
Because that wouldn't be as cool to you.
Like, they're trying to imply that they need to be super precise in the release, but I'm just not seeing it.
It's the measure of sanity driving straight at a tornado like that.
Are you really sure about this? We're just gonna charge right through it.
Tio, the Dodge Charger can handle it all!
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this car really can do anything. Oh, wait, to be fair, yeah, we're gonna jump out.
Yeah, it's why it's Team 4-Star Piccolo's favorite car.
Whoop.
And they're not somehow getting sucked up by that F5. How?
Yeah, they're still close.
Sure.
It's the wind equivalent of convention's mockvention. Joe, what the fuck are you doing?
Go.
There you go.
Like you have psychic powers.
Like tiny little fireflies, they go up there.
Also, that Dodge Charger did everything for you, and you just abandon it like that. Yay! Hooray! Now the tornado's
did it!
Going
We're
to kill
stuck
us.
in a tornado. We could get sucked up pretty soon if we're not careful.
Yay! Hooray! It costs people their literal lives, but we can finally do research.
It's okay, Jova. They were the bad guys. Look at all this generic data we're getting. Seriously,
it says, if you can read this, you're a nerd.
So yeah, now that the primary goal has been obtained, now the only thing that remains for this final action scene is for Bill and Joe to survive.
Oh yeah, right, it's coming towards us!
Morons.
What is that you throw inside me? I'll smite you down! Seriously, God is not in a good mood today. Hi, Orsa. What was that shot?
It was to show what the horse thinks about it.
Yeah, there was a Kangaroo Jack style shot of an animal.
Follow the horses! They know what to do!
Yeah, Spirit is gonna save us. God. Wait,
Matt Damon
wasn't
is it Matt Damon in that movie?
Yeah, and JoJo Part 7's a lot weird. It took a weirder direction than I was expecting.
No, Dej. This is Calamity happening in JoJolion instead. Apparently...
Wonder of You, gotcha.
Yeah, either Bill or Joe just had the intent to pursue him, and that this is happening now.
Okay, now that you mention it, Tio, if I recall correctly, wasn't there an episode of Spirit Riding 3 where Spirit somehow stays anchored down in the middle of a tornado?
I think so. It's been a while. I don't remember, Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah! We're in a place with all these sharp hooks and everything. What could possibly go wrong during a tornado? Oh, yeah, that.
We just entered into a set of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Wrong Turn.
So the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was caused by a tornado?
Yeah, I can see that.
It was the saddest thing is that despite everything here, the filming conditions here were probably better than in that movie.
Yeah.
How are these morons outrunning an F5?
Don't you see, Jova? They have the will to believe.
What does the F5 key normally do on computing?
Refresh the page.
Mm.
Look at this.
This
It's
is
practically
becoming a
next to them, and they're
pantomime.
just fine.
Well,
You just remove the music that is right now. Put the silent movie, piano going on, and it works just fine.
Again, I think my issue is the
Oh
movie
yeah!
tried.
All right, here we go. The final way they're gonna try to survive the tornado. They're gonna
Oh, get
anchor
it?
themselves to these pipes, apparently.
And get it? She has to keep the door shut just like her dad did. Again, I think I wouldn't even mind this much if the movie didn't try to act grounded for a good chunk of it. It's like, the movie should have just committed to being insane like this throughout.
And the worst part about it also is that, sure, you use lever belts to anchor yourself to the pipes, but newsflash for you, you're gonna get instead dislocated because, the centrifugal force of a tornado is enough to, eradicate you from wherever you stand. But, again, true power of law between these two will save them or some shit like that.
Hey, better question. What's stopping it from ripping up the pipes, given everything else it's ripped
Again,
up?
it mentioned 30 feet underground or something, but I'm more surprised that none of the debris are actually hitting them in the face. Because again, that's what the tornadoes still are, just a mass of giant, debris that are hitting you at full speed.
Oh god, they even bust out the whole choir and everything
Because we're
for
now
this
literally in
sequence.
the eye of the storm. Where it's
So
supposedly the most calm.
beautiful.
There you go, Joe. Your childhood trauma is now done because you have achieved your own quest line. Whatever the hell that
And
means.
this, I guess, beats the tornado. Hey, a question. What's stopping it from backbuilding like the earlier tornado
No,
did?
don't worry, Joe. It's fine. God has decided that enough is enough. There you go. We're just dissipating now. There you go. We're done.
And then all their devices fall on a ton of people
did-
from the tornado.
Did God just ate bad chipotle that day or some shit like that? What was happening?
Oh dear. Look, I'm sorry, my children, but it turns out that batch of Taco Bell really did not go down well, so I finally took some medication for it.
For a second there, I thought, wait, did the tornado de-age one of the characters?
But it's okay, the horses survived somehow.
I could just imagine when the underbond deals cut, these two are like, ugh, get away.
Yeah,
They
basically.
couldn't get on.
But look, it didn't take the house somehow.
How specific. I have wonderful news, however. The movie's almost over.
We did it! We did it! We did something! Mission accomplished!
It's literally the SpongeBob episode. We did it, Patrick! We saved Bikini Bottom!
We did it, Bill! We saved Oklahoma! And the world!
Bill, I'm sorry to say, you're way too deep in this shit now.
Oh, just kiss already.
Also, considering the cold environment that you're being frozen with water, you're catching pneumonia right now.
You gotta love it. It's not even rain, but it looks like rain, basically.
And I also love that the movie is constantly tintillating on these two kissing, and it almost did not happen because something else was, blocking them. Pieces of shit.
So the day was saved by Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt in their quest against tornadoes.
And
Fight
none of
on,
these
you
people
worthy
will return in
heroes.
the sequel.
Oops.
There you go. Movie's over.
Is the sequel any good?
According to
Again,
Dreams,
from what I've
yes.
heard-
I remember it being better than this film.
I am
Yeah,
curious
okay.
to check it out eventually. So
Oh,
there's
true.
that.
Kathleen Kennedy was involved in this.
You have to remember, Jova, Kathleen Kennedy's been producing movies for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah, I get that. But I thought she was already with Lucasfilm by the time of this film.
No, it won't be for ages, I think.
Alright, there's no post-credit scene if I recall correctly, so the crew will not be invited to the Hulk initiative. God damn.
Even
No,
though, again,
the,
there actually will be a sequel
or
to
Blade.
this, so whoops.
I thought you were going to say the Twister won't be invited to the Avengers Initiative.
I mean...
Don't you mean it won't be invited to the
okay,
Doomsday event?
I will say this, however, movie, can you not, can you stop with the lingering shot? We get it, you can cut away now. There you go.
And now we cut to the beginning of the happening. Oh no!
You see a cloud in the sky, a fluffy cloud, fluffy, rolling cloud.
Your face is perfect. Yeah, anyway.
Alright,
There's another piece of scenery.
final thoughts in the meantime. Dwibs.
You know, I don't remember this movie being that, honestly, very boring the first time I saw it. Yeah, I know. A movie which has a lot of yelling, tornadoes, destruction and everything. I wasn't very excited by it. Well, that's mainly because a lot of it's just really stock. We've got the stoner, got the prick, we've got the over excited person who's, again, likes getting close to tornadoes a bit too much, and the doting fiance. That's really about it in terms of characterization. Then there's a thing where it just kind of drops stuff and then brings it back whenever it's convenient, like the villains. Like I don't know why would you need villains in a movie that has evil tornadoes? I feel like if you made a Maleficent movie and she wasn't the villain,
Wait, yeah.
I mean, the music's solid, and most of the effects haven't aged too badly. Again, aside from that weird shot of planet Earth and the satellite. In terms of hiding, that they didn't get along. Paxton and Helen Hunt actually did manage to hide pretty well that they didn't like each other during the movie. Unlike a lot of other projects I've seen where you can just see the resentment they had, like late
Island of Dr. Moreau.
or late Tom Baker era Doctor Who.
Wait, who did he have a beef with?
The actress playing her companion because they had a really on and off again love relationship, but that's for another time.
Ugh. And let's not forget the crown of them all, Vin Diesel and The Rock butting heads to the point where they had to be filmed separately.
I think
and you can actually tell.
I think the kicker still takes, like Dweebs keep referencing about Tom Sizemore and I forgot the other, Val Kilmer, I think, in Red Planet, and where one of them threw gym equipment and the other. Very classy.
Ooh.
I honestly do remember the sequel to this being better. I don't know if it's because I saw it in 4DX, so I can actually feel the tornado more. But honestly, I remember that film having better characters and even a better story. I mean, can't have better effects because it's been 20 plus years. So we'll see when we get to it. But overall, it's not. I didn't really like this film. It's not the worst Jan de Bont film I've seen. That's Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life.
Oh wow, not even Speed 2? I know, but you detest that.
As much as it doesn't have enough Willem Dafoe in it, it at least doesn't have, say, Sandra Bullock punching the ship in the nose.
So there you go, Tia. We finally found a film that got Dwibs to compliment Speed 2 cruise control.
God help us.
Well, guys, I've complimented literally every Uwe Boll video game movie compared to that film, so it's not that much of a stretch. But yeah, This film just ain't for me.
Dedge.
Well, that certainly was a movie. I guess you can say it was a disaster.
No,
but seriously, it's kind of dumb. Not in a dumb, fun, rompy way, but more of the. This is stupid.
We didn't mention the percentage Rotten Tomatoes, 68% for the critics, 59% for the audience. So.
That's way too. I wonder if the critics gave it a huge percent because of the effects more than anything.
The consensus says a high concept blockbuster that emphasizes special effects over three-dimensional characters. Twister's visceral thrills are often offset by the film's generic plot.
You know what? I can see that. Like, it was the 90s, the height of, shall we say, practical effects mixed with some computer effects and whatnot. Twister really does see like an effect showcase more than anything, essentially.
I feel like the divorce romance subplot is actually that's the main driving point. It feels weird, especially with the fiance and she left. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't understand that. It just felt like, okay, instead of being a divorced couple, why not have it be these two exes, not divorced, but more exes that are forced to work back together because they're at a critical point in their job and they need each other's help.
Because, Deads, the fiance was their big brain way of having a character that characters can explain stuff to for the audience.
There could have been a different character to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, shoot. Like, take cues from Expendables 2 or, God help me, Expendables 3. Have, like, someone who's joining the team and, maybe they have to be tested on this stuff, or maybe they don't know all the ins and outs because they're interning or whatnot. You could have easily have made a character that stands in for the audience without making someone as disposable as the fiance. Like, how sad is it that her presence kind of feels minuscule to the point where she just leaves the film? I'm kind of reminded, actually, of... Okay, in Jurassic World, you know how the babysitter of the two boys gets, like, that over-the-top death? That was something that the actress actually requested because she figured, look, if I'm playing a bit part, at least give me something that'll be exciting, and hey, credit to her is due, she was made memorable because of how over-the-top that death was.
The problem is that the plot did not justify the death, so it really comes off as more mean-spirited than anything.
It does, but at least it gave her character something more to do. This one is just, hi, I'm here. Bye. Anything else, Dedge?
No.
Java.
Okay, like I said, I was not in any hurry to come back to the film because I remember being mostly bored by it. I will say, I guess it's a thing that every time we commentate on it, I guess I'm a bit surprised at how there actually is a good chunk to make fun of. Mind you, it's still not a movie I'm gonna be in any hurry to come back to. Like, supposedly the big plot is that we have to fight a tornado and researching its data apparently defeated the F5. It really feels like the writers were on autopilot, but then realized, oh crap, we gotta actually come up with a resolution and make it epic. Which is like, it feels like they couldn't decide if they wanted this to be a relatively grounded film about tornadoes with some wacky science, or have it suddenly be a, like, okay, maybe not Schwarzenegger tier, but basically practically an action movie with tornadoes and all that. And, like, they can't make up their minds on it, and it makes the script a mess. Speaking of the script being a mess, none of these characters are memorable in the slightest. If anyone is memorable, it's for the wrong reasons, essentially. Again, what baffles me is, of all the times to decide to make a Twister sequel, They chose to do one and have it released in 2024 when, I'm sorry, the novelty of the movie Twister had long since left the building. Because that's really what Twister is at the end of the day. A novelty act, essentially.
Me and Liz were speculating that they saw the success of Top Gun Maverick and they tried to replicate that.
The difference is, one, Top Gun Maverick was able to actually, get back Tom Cruise and a few of the actors. And two, Top Gun Maverick seems to have a story that lends itself to a sequel better. Twister. Okay, mind you, from what I've heard, the sequel's actually good. Better than this. But man, the fact that they had to make it with completely new characters to tie it to it is kind of telling, really, of how I don't think a sequel was ever in the works for this. I digress. The character, not one really stands out as fleshed out or really done well. Bill's just there to basically get back with his wife. Joe's there to obsess over tornadoes and imply that, yes, they are evil. Which, yeah, no, she's crazy. The fiance was correct. She is crazy. She's the craziest one of them all. Yet this movie indulges her by making her, I guess, be right. I can't even say it's one of those philosophical things where they leave it up to the audience interpretation. No, the movie treats it like they defeated the tornado in the end. Huzzah. And yeah, like I've mentioned, the fiance is just I guess, ironically, she's one of the few characters who has a proper purpose. That purpose literally renders her to just a narrative device that leaves the film when they're done with her. And what was the point of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character? I'll admit, when I first saw this movie, I thought, okay, he's gonna be the best friend who dies to show that things are really serious, but no, none of the good guys really die. I mean, yeah, there are people who die, but the only characters of note who do die are Jonas and his lackey.
The aunt character almost gets killed, but since the action happens off screen, we don't know what happened.
It's weird. There's supposed to be stakes, but half the time it feels like we know the characters that we care about are gonna make it out just fine, so whatever. I feel like they should have just hammed the whole thing up instead of trying to play things straight at the time. Making the tornado growl was certainly a choice.
Jova,
maybe
we need to
that
showcase how evil it is.
Yes. Hey, how much you want to bet that in the day and age of stuff like Sharknado, DeBont would have actually made it a tornado of lions?
I mean, yeah.
To truly fight against that trauma of his. I mean, I guess it's not like a certain other movie where he literally puts in a lion's roar, but again, when we get to that, we'll get to that. I guess if I can give this film one credit, the score is fantastic. I can't really remember most of it, but it sounds epic and corny enough that it can keep me engaged in the film. But otherwise, like I've said before, and I'll say again, this movie really benefited off of the time date it was released. I feel like in almost any other film decade, this would not have done nearly as well as it did, because it really is nothing but a bunch of special effects showcased at work. But hey, maybe the sequel will really showcase the hidden potential of Twister of all things. All I know is that at the end of this day, this movie is bad, and I really recommend you only watch it for riffing purposes. Don't take it seriously in the slightest. Tio, go on.
Yeah, this was... the movie itself is just bad for reasons that we explained in the commentary, but it still had kind of a blast, taking the piece out of it, because this is the perfect, way of a disaster movie to do it. It takes itself serious just enough for you to look at in bewilderment to its, understanding of science, But at the same time, it has such a bizarre level of humor that also makes you question what the hell is it doing, but you can't look away from it. It's like, a car crash or, a tornado swiping, a vehicle. You just cannot look away as a result. That being said, a lot of these movie plot elements could have been done better, like we said, the character of, the fiance, or Jonas for that matter. Like Dad said, this movie did not needed humanoid villains. This really feels like they stacked on just because the story needed an actual, antagonistic force to remind you that the good guys are good. Yeah, thank you, movie. Thank you for that. Um, but no, aside from that, everything else is still arguably enjoyable to riff on. So again, I did not mind having a blast revisiting this. It was kind of needed considering again they made a sequel. So eventually, I guess we'll give a look at that. So stay tuned for Twisters. I guess.
Joy.